Moving on
That's
to
all I
manager's
have.
report.
We're open to discussion, and that's what this was intended for.
Can I just ask one question, Gary?
Sure.
What was the consensus in the room? What did everybody feel? Gonna
Yes.
pass or not?
It's gonna pass. The general thought is this is gonna pass.
Yeah.
And,
That's the way we're looking at it too at work, is that everybody feels it's gonna pass.
and that's why I'm really anxious to start getting some work done on this, because I really, I know that there's gonna be some changes and there'll be roadblocks, but we don't have a lot of time to start making something happen. But Lee's confident that we need to just take a deep breath and wait and see what happens.
When Gary first brought this up to me, I did volunteer to go to Denver. Have a 4-week workshop to figure out what they're doing and see if it's working. But the reality is, we theoretically could learn from their towns, what roadblocks do they run into, what issues, and I'm sure they're out there.
I thought I saw you on the news the other night when they had the camera in the park out there.
No, I missed that. Yes.
Mr. Pine?
Okay. So, I have Sarah's monthly library report. She's had another busy month. Things are going well up there. She makes mention to her walkway, and I hope that our councils have a chance to get up and get their eyes on that, because it really is. They've done an amazing job with that. Just wanted to remind everybody that we have our annual trick-or-treat parade and the trick or trunk that's coming up this Monday on Halloween, 5 p.m. This is sponsored again by the Oakland Police Department. There's a little bit of a change in it this year. We have our new downtown business committee who's also involved, and they're going to be doing something a little bit more on downtown than what we have in the past. So we've got tables they'll be setting up and offering things for the children and being more involved. And the other thing I wanted to bring up was we have our second annual Downtown Business Committee Holiday Decoration Contest. This year's theme is the Winter Wonderland, and I've given you a flyer on that. I'm going to again be tapping into our council as judges, if that's okay. And that worked out well last year, and so when we get the list of businesses who are involved in it, I'll do up the sheets again and ask you to judge them as we did last year. That was fun. It was people enjoyed it. It certainly brought a lot of cheer for the downtown area. One thing you don't have on your agenda is I went to Fiber Rights groundbreaking ceremony today, and they did a great job. Things are certainly moving forward for this process. I think I gave you the newsletter. Gives a little rundown. They are starting the groundbreaking. They put the road in for the piece of property that they're going to be building this plant on. There's a lot of energy. This is great for the state of Maine. Personally, very excited about this. And, this group of men and women worked really hard to make this happen. It's been an uphill battle right from the get-go. They've been dealing with a very large company who's the primary owner of PERC, who stands to lose a lot of money, and they put a lot of money into trying to defeat this. And so this is something new for the state of Maine, and I really truly believe that it's going to happen. There's a little small roadblock that's been put into place right now. PERC has filed a suit in court to try to prevent the DEP permit. But the general thought is that it's just a roadblock and it's going to be overcome. So, any questions on fiber right? Dana's pretty educated on that whole thing too.
Did Madeline go and stamp the code?
Madeline was not there, and I was totally disappointed.
One time.
We're all looking for her, too.
I was planning to go just later, but they finished.
It was too cold.
Another thing that I have on here.
Hang on.
Oh, sorry.
Related to the transfer station and all of that futuristic stuff, I think I noticed the other day that the wood pile is going down some.
It's getting moved. It's not going down. It's getting rearranged.
So they haven't taken anything away.
No, they're trying to get it so they can bring more in, but they haven't gotten past me on that one yet, so let's see it go away. 18 is formally inviting us to their meeting on November 17th at 6:30. They're inviting all of our council and me to this. This is part of the cost sharing committee, and it's an update, question and answer type evening where they're gonna provide supper. This is gonna be at the Williams Elementary School. So if you can attend this, it would be great. I will be there, 6:30, November 17th, in the cafeteria, Williams Elementary School. So, Dawn, if you got any updates on any of that?
Well, this meeting is, I think, our usual annual meeting that we discuss the budget, and he gives his plan. Cost sharing is part of it. The facilities committee is another part of it, I guess he's gonna report on. The cost sharing part, basically, the biggest question is what is fair? And depends, everybody in this room would give a different opinion of what is fair as far as school funding. And I think everybody is gonna be hung up on that to the very end. And they're also now talking about the political nature of it. It's not just what everybody thinks is the best idea, what are the 5 towns going to agree on? We only meet once a month. I think I did give you some indication. We meet again on November 4th, I think, next Thursday. And that's the last scheduled meeting, but it will by no means be the last meeting at all. We are having a couple of people come in, one from the state, to explain the whole valuation process, because nobody quite understands, how valuations go up and down, 3-year past history, et cetera. And they'll talk about the history of school funding for the city. So it doesn't get heated, but it gets very debated in those sessions.
One thing that I wanted to bring up was I would like to add to this meeting, when we have our council meeting, a little bit of a time so that our council members who are on outside committees could share the information from those outside committees, if that's okay with you. I know, Dana, you're part of KV-COG, and you probably are affiliated with others that I'm not aware of. And I know, Mark, you're affiliated with First Block, and Dawn, I've learned you're part of the Dams Committee. Art, I'm not sure if you're on anything or not, but I'd like to get a list of that, and I'd like to make time in our council meetings so that we can get updated from what's going on outside of Oakland from anybody. And I'm going to start updating on fiber rate, if I can. Any thoughts?
I think it's a great idea, and I guess the only question would be, as we discuss it, is how often? For example, the Dams Committee meets every month. If we rotate through and we have periodic meetings, do I give a report every month, every time they've had one, or do I wait and do it quarterly? Same thing with everybody, I guess that would be my only question is.
What if we just
Do it as needed.
Yeah, or just went through everybody. I mean, it's not like a large group. Anything new on the Dams Committee?
Well, that's what I'm saying, I could do that every meeting,
Yeah.
and it would probably be appropriate, it's not gonna take long.
Right.
But that's how we may wanna set up. If anybody's had a meeting between the last meeting and this meeting, then we just have a session in manager's report for updates from committees.
That's not allowed on, that's permissible. Would people like to start tonight? Anything on KV-COG?
I think the last meeting I went to, I reported on what went on there.
Okay.
That was 2 or 3 weeks ago.
First part of their General Assembly meeting is tomorrow at Thomas College in the AO auditorium. I plan on being there. I think they're going to reveal some good news that will become public. I'm also on the Cotlass Committee meeting. Madeline might not know, but Oakland's part of the sister city, Fairfield, Waterville, Oakland, Winslow, we're all part of the sister city with Cotlass, Russia. There's a trip being planned, and we hope the governor's able to go, it says he is, for June 2017. I'll help with the plan, and invited you to go, Gary, but so you're busy.
Keep me up there.
I think it'll be a 2-week trip. I'm also on the Snow Pond Lake Association Committee, but there's really no updates right now.
Okay. Keep us up to date on it.
The Belgrade Dam Committee, maybe at the next meeting, if you want, I can do some history, because it is a very different type of group. There is a legal, legislative creation. It's a legal body by itself, created by the state of Maine, under the DEP auspices, and they are basically sovereign. You know, they do what they're supposed to do based on DEP regulations, and there's nobody really who oversees them, other than each town has a representative on the committee, so we have involvement. But, and I don't want to make it sound like they're this big, powerful group, but they do have to do certain things, and the DEP and the state legislature back them. It's like a school district. They are an entity unto themselves. So, that being said, you know, we have certain things that we have to do. We provide monies for them. Every year at budget time, they send us a letter saying the assessment for the next year will be X amount of dollars. And usually it's fairly consistent. It's, and don't quote me, because I'm not gonna, I'll give you the wrong number. But it's a fairly small amount, and they don't always use it. And they build up a surplus, and the surplus is very important, because if they have a problem with one of the dams, it's not an inexpensive proposition. So they need to have a stockpile of dollars. Should a dam have a problem, it may cost $50,000 to repair. They don't ask us for $10,000, $15,000 a year. They ask us for a few $1,000s. Hopefully they don't need any of it. They might use a little of it, and they build up a surplus. We do have a situation now with one of the dams that it could be a very expensive proposition. They may be asking for more money this coming year. Without going into all the details, the Belgrade Dam Committee is the McGraw Pond Salmon Lake Dam in Belgrade, the Wings Mill Dam, the dam, I'm not sure what all the names of them are, but Long Pond, Great Pond, Salmon Lake, I think are the three biggies. And each one of those dams has to be monitored. DEP regulates how much water must be let out of each dam and how high the lake levels have to be in each of the lakes. And people complain left and right because lake level's too low, lake level's too high. But they are governed by DEP as to how much water they let out. Right now, people are complaining we're letting out water, yet the lakes are all low. Well, they've got to. So DEP regulates what they do. There is a monitor, and he is a volunteer for each of the lakes. And they tend the lakes daily. And they watch the gauges, and they adjust them accordingly. And they don't get any remuneration for that. The only real expenses they have are what we have to pay or what they have to pay to repair the dams. And right now, I think it's the Wings Mill Dam that may need some major repairs, and there are 3 or 4 different phases to it, and each phase is a range of $5,000 to $10,000. So it could be quite expensive to do that. We're getting a second quote on that, a second opinion. We're asking the Maine, I think it's Department of Transportation, Inland Fisheries, they're all going to get together and see if there are other groups out there that might give us better bids. The long and the short of it is, they're going to probably ask us for a few more dollars this year than they have in the past years. The levels of all the lakes are very low. People are having trouble transporting their boats through narrows, through small causeways. They're getting out of their boats and having to actually walk them through, pull the motors up, and just try to, get through the best they can. The latest rains might have helped a little bit, but they're down anywhere from a foot to a foot and a half below what they should be. It is a very, it's not a very controversial, but it creates a lot of controversy between people who have property on the lake, they get their water from the lake, and if the water goes too low, their water lines freeze. Lots of issues that aren't important to a lot of the people, but this committee basically deals with all those things, and we meet once a month. We get reports on water levels and damage and issues and things like that. And the intent is for us to bring it back to the governing bodies, explain what's going on, and then when they do ask for money, explain what the money is being used for. It works well. It's a group of about 8 people who come from Belgrade, Sydney, Oakland, Rome, and try to do what's best for the environment and the towns.
Looking forward to the updates on that. I have one more item. I'd like to arrange an executive session on Friday so that we could discuss some issues that are going on and legal issues. So I don't know if I could get you guys for noontime Friday, something along that line, and I know that you get lunchtime at some point. Take us probably 20 minutes of your time.
Friday at noon?
Does that work for everybody?
Work for me.
I think so.
Okay. It's gonna be important that I have the whole council on this.
So Friday at noon.
Friday at noon, right here. And then we'll some time to run. That's all I have for you, sir.
Sorry, Mr. Woolman.
You're not talking.
Mr. Wiggler. Fish.
I'm also,
Mr. Wiggler.
I did attend a meeting up at the MMA convention and met with had lunch with the 2 companies that are moving into First Part. The Azamut company that's a municipal tax mapping services, and the Road King Technology company that's, does GPSs for municipal and commercial vehicles. And sounds like pretty sure that they'll be moving in to have an office up here at First Part. They're both from Canada.
Perfect, they know how to work.
And I noticed you're getting a lot of hot topping going on here recently. Have we got still money in the budget for striping those before winter, or
We're
is that a
planning
plan?
on getting them all done, tidied right up before it gets too cold. It's a race against time right
I
now.
didn't know if Jeff had money for
Yeah,
striping left
no,
in there or not.
Yeah, we're gonna be striping them. We wanna get Rice's Roof Road straightened out.
Because we always get some questions if they're not striped soon after they're hot top.
Yeah, well, I think there's a lot of edges up on Rice's Roof
Yeah.
Road and driveways. I mean,
Yeah.
we go through there afterwards and straighten it all out. Well, they do. So, yeah, it's, this project certainly put us behind everywhere else.
Yeah.
But we're catching up with it right now. We're trying to get caught up.
That's all.
Mr. John Cox.
What's that?
Patrick, how are you? Any comments tonight? Because we're winding down.
We're talking to you. Thanks.
Mr. Harold Buzzell.
All set, sir.
To all of you, thank you for coming.
Could I comment? Special hours for absentee voting this weekend from 8 to 12. We've advertised it. I'm hoping more people are gonna take advantage of that. I had a question today. So far, we have given, about approximately 1,120 absentee ballots have gone out, not all come back. We're hoping for a larger number. I did go back and do a little research. Back in 2012, we had 3,259 voters back then. I can see that number growing, so I would like to encourage anybody that wants to vote absentee to please do that to avoid the long lines. So I think we've given people all sorts of opportunity to do that.
When is your last day?
That will be the
Third, is
Thursday,
it?
the 3rd. November 3rd is the final day for anybody to vote absentee. So,
Our next meeting is the 9th.
yes,
Next
it
meeting's
is.
tonight.
Don?
Can we spend a minute to plan November? Where the second meeting
Oh,
in
that's a
November
great
would be
idea.
night before Thanksgiving.
That's it, get out of here.
Jan always has some home cooked pie, so.
Jan says she's gonna make a turkey dinner for us.
Here at the town office, right down in the form.
Okay, so the first meeting's gonna be on the 9th. Do you wanna make it the 30th?
I have it on my desk.
Or you wanna have just one meeting in November?
It's the second one, the 23rd, that's the night before Thanksgiving.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would say, depends on,
I can do it either way.
Can you read that?
Well, what's your schedule looking like? So I know you don't know it, but I'm saying, how much business are we going to have right then and there? We're going
Well,
to meet.
we've been busy, and things get busy. And, you know, I certainly would like to have 2 meetings for the month of November.
Do you want to go on the 30th?
I'd rather go to 22nd if it's gonna be Jeff's
Yeah, I like the 22nd.
It's good for me.
Good for you?
I'm not sure, I don't have my calendar, but.
Oh,
So 11/9 and 11/22.
I wasn't doing anything that week anyway, don't worry about it.
You're gonna need some downtime.
That's right, I'll have like 1,000 people and they'll be cooking turkeys.
What's December look like? Well, we got the discussion going on.
Very next month.
Yeah, very next month, so we're gonna be looking at the 14th and the 28th. That works for everybody, doesn't it?
14 and 28.
December.
Of December, I'll good with that.
Yeah.
Good deal. So with no further ado,
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second it.
all in favor? Thank you all for coming, have a great night. I'll see you on,
We're gonna see you at noontime on Friday. I'll get the agenda done up, and get it out to everybody.